Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Trip Forman. We got Real Team Rider Dawson with us. Dawson, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
And we are reviewing today the Christenson OP3, which is also known as the OP3. Some people, initially when it was released, it was also called the Gerr. And so you might also see it as the OP3, the Gerr, or the OP3 Gerr. But this board is part of the OP series. OP1 is the kind of everyday kind of grovel board, or like some people call it like a step down board. OP2 is like the all-arounder. OP3 is typically a swallowtail and for better waves.
Yep.
And OP4 is a round pin for when it is juicing. So Dawson, let's get into OP3. Let's talk dimensions right here. What's your height and weight?
I'm 5'9", 165 pounds.
And what are the dimensions on this OP3?
This one is 5'9", 19, 2 7/16 thick, 28.2 liters.
28.2. So actually, Chris put liters on this thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times on his other boards he doesn't.
Yeah, they're right there.
All right, 28.2. So let's get into performance on this thing. Like, what's the range of surf that you surf this board in?
Probably anywhere from waist high to a couple feet overhead.
Okay. And where's the sweet spot? Is it like kind of shine in all of that, or like?
I liked it in all of it, man. Swallowtail, I feel like still has holds on the bigger surf, and it still gets whippy on the smaller surf.
And what, like, as far as like what type of waves? Like soft, barreling, like works in everything?
For me, it worked in everything. You just got to push a little harder when it's a little mushier.
Right.
But when it really starts going, once it gets to that head-high surf and top to bottom, this thing was really good in the barrel. So.
Yeah. No, I noticed like session after session, like you just kept going back to this board. Like it kind of was like for good waves, like this was like your kind of go-to good wave shortboard.
Yep, exactly.
Dawson, let's talk about accessibility on this thing. So like obviously it rips at the top end.
Yes.
But there's a lot of people like, Christenson has a huge following. A lot of people riding a lot of his boards, like riding Fish or Mykonaut, the new Hole Shot, and looking at this board. We actually have a lot of people specifically asking about the OP3. It's just got a really nice curve to it on the outline, and I think people are like really drawn specifically to this one quite a bit. With your experience, like working with customers, like in the loft and like getting them on the right board, and then also hearing the feedback, like after the next swell, like. Do you think that this is a board that's accessible, like for people coming off of like hybrid style or Fish style boards?
I think so, because it still has a little bit of girth right here. It doesn't go super narrow, super fast. It kind of still underneath your chest, just not so much underneath your chest. It's still there, and it's just a really good all-around shortboard if that's what they're looking for. It holds its rail line really well through turns, super fast on the line, and it gets barrels, so it kind of does everything, hits all the boxes.
Right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed riding it.
So if they were looking at like, picking up an additional board for a trip, like maybe going to a place with good waves.
Yes, 100%.
If they're like, they're going to Kandui or they're going to the Maldives or something, like where there's going to be like reliable, like good waves.
Yeah, and I feel like the swallowtail is kind of old school, because I remember guys back at Pipe would ride big boards with the little small swallows. Right. So I feel like it holds really well in the bigger surf too, because it's kind of like a double hold with both little swallows, It's not just the round tail. And I feel like for that, it's just so fast. So.
What are you using fins? Like this board's got FCS.
The Colohays.
And what size?
Large.
Okay. So your weight, like in the 160s, you're still going large, like you're not riding mediums?
Yeah.
And why do you do that in a board like this? Why are you riding largest?
So for bigger surf, I just like that hold.
Okay.
And these fins aren't super stiff. They have a little bit of flex to them. So I like to go large that has a little bit of flex, so it still has that give. Okay. Worked really well on turns and all that kind of stuff. Even my bottom turns, it kind of springs out of them.
Okay. Anything else you want to add about this board, about the OP3?
The glassing on it's insane, holds up really well. I've been riding the heck out of this thing through the winter time, and it still looks basically new.
Yeah, like actually, it's a good, like how long, I mean, obviously looking at the wax, it's been in your quiver for a while. How long has this thing been in your quiver?
Probably for 6 months.
Or more?
Maybe 8 months.
Yeah.
And I've rode it a lot, because I really don't have that many short boards for when it gets like top to bottom, high, a couple feet overhead. So this was my go-to board all winter long.
That's
Tell
great.
by the wax.
Exactly. Awesome. Hey, Dawson, thank you so much for sharing your input on the Christenson OP3. If any of you out there have any questions on the OP3 or any of the Christenson boards, or would like to place an order, you can always reach us at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.